Alright everybody, Liz here with Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers 5.0. I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV since 2.1, so about 6 years. This is a playthrough of my character Lisbeth Rhinelander, so let's get started. Alright my friends, we are here and we are ready, I believe, to finally get started with our MSQ. So I haven't done any Shadowbringers story yet. I don't know anything. I am in instance 3 for Mordona, apparently. And so we are going to get started. So this is our outfit that we're going to be going through with Black Mage. It took me quite a while to decide on it, but I'm really liking it now. We are also going to be leveling Dancer at the same time. And this is our current Dancer glamour. So I am pretty happy with that right now. So Dancer's already level 71, Black Mage is still level 70. So we will be trying to keep them as equal as possible. So right now I'm going to be doing everything as Black Mage, just so that we can get up to level 70. Alright. Ooh. Come back. Alright, enter the Rising Stones. Alright, Tataru, what you got for me? I'm assuming it's Tataru anyway. I'm right, alright. The Circus Trench. So we get Shadowbringers Orchestration Roll, and we get White Oak Weapon Coffer. Tataru is itching to share what appears to be good news. Ooh, cutscene already. Good news, Lisbeth. We've had a stroke of luck on our search for that beacon. That's right, because we were looking for a beacon that the dude who pulled us away from the fight from Xenos. He said he left a beacon for us around the Crystal Tower. Apparently, our colleagues have stumbled across a hidden path leading down into the hollows around the base of the Crystal Tower. Alright, we're looking serious. A path I doubt we'd have ever found had the Ironworks and the Suns not added their numbers to the party. Thanks to them, we have eager eyes aplenty down there, checking under rocks and peering into every nook and cranny. Still, it sounds like there's a lot of ground to cover. What will you say? Then we better go and give them a hand? Sounds like tedious work, but not as tedious as waiting around, I suppose. So better go give them a hand. My thoughts exactly. The sooner we find this beacon, the sooner you can travel to wherever it is this mysterious voice is coming from. And the sooner we can work out how to help our friends. We have to find a way to wake them up, and before the Empire comes calling again, meaning we have no time to lose. Agreed. There's a boat in North Silvertier waiting to ferry people to the site, so let's be on our way. Oh, that quest accepted music. Still not quite sure how I feel about that. Alrighty. Boop. Alright. Part of me is still can I put on glamour plates here? No. Part of me still is bugged by the fact that, my hand glitches there. So maybe if we change our pose, maybe that'll help. Not that. Not that either. I kind of like that. We'll stick with that for a minute and see. If that really bugs me, we may have to switch. But, we'll see. North Silvertier, here I come. So I was doing all the side quests and all the areas, trying to get all of them done, and 100% forgot about Mordona. Didn't even cross my mind to look for side quests here. Alright. Look at it. Holy cow, it looks so cool. Heading to survey the site, madam. It's on the eastern shore of the lake, and the swiftest way to get there is by boat. Take a boat to the survey site? You bet. What is this music? Okay, we're gonna talk to people, because that's who I am. Alright, hurry, Boulder. Elizabeth, the search continues. I have no doubt we shall find this beacon of yours. So many people over here. The Archons need our help. Next to that, even matters of the heart don't seem to matter. Matters of the heart? I've detected no slavering beasts in the vicinity. My sister accepted. That's funny. So those two must be sisters. I didn't realize that. The Ironworks is out in force. Master Garland's orders. That towering edifice is the outer wall of the Crystal Tower's foundation. The Labyrinth of the Ancients, to be precise. Yep. That's the Labyrinth? Right next to us? The air here weighs heavily upon me. 'Tis little wonder, I suppose, when standing in the shadow of such an imposing structure. Alright. So... Alright, Taru.
Look how many people there are! Should we get to it then? Pick up anything that seems the least bit device-like, and we'll make ourselves a pile.
Well, if it isn't the hero of the hour, maybe you'll change our look. We've found bugger all without you.
Biggs! Wedge!
Have they ever talked before?
We could hardly say no to a call for aid from the Scions. Jesse called it the chief of some other business, so we'll be working twice as hard to make up for his not being here.
Thrice as hard, even.
Thank you, both of you. I'm sure we'll find that beacon in no time.
I'm not seeing anything out here. Do you reckon you could squeeze in there, Wedge?
Oh.
I could try if you like.
Tataru, no! We couldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, I'll be fine. This receptionist is not afraid to get her hands dirty.
I've been there all of 3 minutes and I find it.
Sorry, I meant to say, the scholars haven't finished their preliminary assessment of the site yet, so we're not supposed to venture too far in. What's that you got there? Now that looks promising.
Isn't that the Ironworks symbol? Counterfeiters?
Now I have you.
You are right.
What's happening?
Stay with me. Focus on my voice. Let expanse contract. Eon become instant.
Wait, this must be it. The device. Oh, this is supposed to happen.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Oh, safe journey, warrior of light. Find our friends and bring them home.
So I've just... What? course my dogs bark. Lakeland 1. Oh, okay.
The dawn's light will shine again.
Oh, do not look at me so.
Don't do that to me.
There's no freedom in that!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you!
Your spirited approach always comes in welcome.
We did everything right. Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this.
Your time has not yet come.
Warrior of Darkness? Yeah. Okay. So it's that dude.
From endless
jeez.
dreams I awake.
Scared me.
Something vague, yet urgent, calls me to action once more.
Well, that's the Warrior of Darkness's voice. That's funny.
Rare to meet someone out here who's not a peddler themselves. What brings you into the wilds this time of night?
What do you mean this time of night? I just tried today. What do you mean this time of night?
Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. Me grandad, God's rest his soul, used to tell that one to the barman at kicking out time.
And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night? You rotten old drunk, you, he'd reply.
Yeah.
Over 100 bleeding years ago, that's when.
So they had a century of no night.
You got that look down to a T. I'd almost think you meant it. Ah, got to you, did they? Poor beggar. That explains it then.
I can't trust people in wine. It's not something I can do.
Well, I've roads to travel and wares to sell, but you best hurry along to the town nearby. Just head east through the trees and aim for the Shining Tower. You'll find the place soon enough. 'Tis the biggest settlement for malms around. Go on now, friend. They'll take good care of you in the Crystarium.
Dizzying heights it rises, the gleaming spire, its tip threatening to pierce the blinding canopy. There, it will all begin anew, between dark and light, the pure and the corrupt, the one true struggle.
Hey. All right. Well then. I can't ride a mount. Apparently I'm supposed to go this way. Can't decide if I want my weapon showing or not. I think with this outfit, I think it has to be on. Sorry. This is me being indecisive. Whoop.
Halt! Every face in this city I know. Yours, I do not.
That accent, though.
This is the threshold of the Crystarium, stranger, and I am its gatekeeper. If you would enter, you will answer my questions. From where do you hail?
Gridania?
Do you take me for a fool? No such place exists. Had you given me an honest answer, I would not have barred your way. We care little here for a person's place of origin. But instead, you chose concealment. and I will not suffer you to pass. That one had eaten. It must have gulped down the whole hand, ring and all.
Damn.
Everything all right, Captain?
Quite all right, my lord. Just a stray sin eater, and a weak one at that.
I see. Weak or not, we should be on the lookout for more. But I see you've met my guest. I will escort her to the Crystarium myself, if you've no objections.
Another of your mysterious friends, is it? I should have known. Very well. I'll inform the others your guest is to be given the run of the city. Pray forgive my less than cordial welcome. May the rest of your stay with us be a pleasant one.
Come with me. I will answer whatever questions you have when we are somewhere more private.
Still don't know what I think about you, my dude.
Right then, before we plunge into the wheres and wherefores, let me first thank you for answering my summons. I had intended to bring you directly to my personal quarters, but I fear my aim was slightly off. That you're still able to make the crossing unharmed is a great relief. And so, we come to the question of where. The realm in which you now find yourself belongs to one of the 13 reflections, or shards. The first, to be precise, even if its inhabitants are largely oblivious to the fact. As to wherefore, having been awarded the rather grandiose title of Crystal Exarch, I, in my capacity as caretaker of the Crystarium, thought to seek the aid of you and your companions.
Are the other scions here? Do you have any idea how much trouble you've caused?
That is a question with no simple answer. But all shall be explained in due course, I promise you. Let us begin with the glaring skies up above. Here in the first, the world has been all but consumed by primordial light. It began a century ago, by this realm's reckoning. A luminous flood swallowing everything in its path. More than 9/10 of this star was lost. And the fortunate few who survived are hounded by abominations born of that catastrophe even now. Sin Eaters, we call them. The creature you saw earlier was one such monstrosity. It was to save the first from this menace that I learned to bridge the rift between worlds. That I might call upon the aid of the greatest of heroes. And though it meant depriving a world of its champion, I had to try, for in saving the first, you would bring salvation to the source as well.
Alright, that's interesting.
But what manner of host harangues his guests in the middle of the road? Let us continue our talk within the Crystarium.
See what this place looks like.
Such a proud and vibrant city. The sole sanctuary for the living in a world all but resigned to oblivion. Each stone was laid with hope. The town itself a symbol, a monument to defiance in the face of death. No would-be hero could fail to answer its call. For who among us does not yearn for salvation?
Amalja? Norvrine. Alright. And here we are. Okay, I have to turn that down a little bit. Let's get out of this. And here we are. Welcome, my friend, to the Crystarium. Complete. Alright. I'm going to be keeping this updated just so that people know where we are. So we're on quest 2. City of the First. Can I move this? I can. White Oak chest gear. The Crystal Exarch has a request for you. Now, a full and frank discussion in the privacy of my study would seem to be in order. But I think our conversation would be more meaningful if you were to first gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To that end, I would like you to visit a few of the Crystarium's civic leaders and glean something of this world and its predicament. As you can see, this path will take you directly to the Aetheryte, a convenience with which I'm sure you are only too familiar. Being the rightful object of my summoning spell, you should, in theory, be able to reach all the way back to your etheric trail and find a connection in the source, believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete this attunement before venturing any further. After you've done so, walk up the steps next to the Aetheryte and head out to the left to arrive in the Crystalline Mean. This is where you'll find our collective of crafters and gatherers, as well as their spokeswoman, Catelys, one of the people I should like you to meet. Another is Morin. To reach him in his cabinet of curiosity, you'll want to avoid the aforementioned steps, take the exit on the left, and simply continue straight along and down until you come to the large doors at the end of the path. The third and final person I should like you to meet is Bragi, our man in charge of trade and distribution. He is to be found in the markets, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetheryte Plaza. In seeking out each of my colleagues, you will visit the major districts of the city, and hopefully gain a feel for the place. I trust my directions were simple enough. Crystal clear. Very good, I concede. The layout of the Crystarium owes more to historic necessity than planning, but I'm sure you'll learn its twists and turns before long. In all honesty, the true challenge may be in finding the right way to approach its citizens. As you discovered during your encounter with the captain, the people of this world are unaware of the existence of other stars, and will struggle to accept the truth of your origin. That being the case, when they ask whence you hail, they inevitably will, I strongly suggest you claim to share a homeland with the Crystal Exarch. There is an unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into that particular mystery. Okay, I can do that. When you finish making the rounds, pray meet me in the large courtyard in the center of town. Until then. Alright. Let's go get an aetheryte. Really like how this is part of the quest, like you can't move on unless you attune to this. You attune to the aetheryte. By focusing your senses, you detect the flow of vastly distant currents of aether. Your connection to these energies is faint but stable, and should allow teleportation to aetherites in the source. So that means we can teleport back and forth. Alright, we're gonna go to the right first. Can you use... You can. So I'm not like... I'm struggling with this glamour. Oops, not that. Let's do part of this quest in this glamour and see. Like this was like my favorite glamour last patch. I don't know. It's huge. Hold on one second. There we go. Alright, Braggy. Oh, cutscene here. New to the city, friend. The spinning head and wide eyes gives you away. Welcome. My name is Bragi, and I'm the master of these markets. They gave the district another official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it. Too florid by half. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment for Mistle? For Mistle such as yourself, so finding something in your size shouldn't be a problem. I'm sorry, did you say Mistle? Aye? Something wrong? Let's see if we can straighten this out. See those two in front of us? The shorter one is a Hume. The taller one is an elf. That sturdy individual over there is a Galgent. So Rogadin is a Galgent. Whilst the one with the horns is a Drawn. And then you have the large, scaly champs with the long tails and a knack for raising livestock. Those would be the Zune. Which apparently is not the name you know them by. Now I'm curious to know which far-flung region you hail from. Ah, the same as the Exarch, eh? Well, that explains it. You don't get much further flung than that. We've had a few of your lot pass through in recent years, and despite their obvious learning, they floundered over the simplest things. But not to worry, should you find yourself confused by the local language or customs, I'll be here to answer your questions. Your exchange with Bragi has taught you about the peoples of the First. Alright. Sorry, I'm trying all sorts of glamours that I have. Just to see what I like. Tell you right now, I won't use this one. I mean, it's cute, but it's not main story cute. I have this one. Just made that one. All right. So I said down this way was the other guy. Wonder how many side quests are gonna pop up in here. Poof. What is this? The Trivium. What on earth? It says there's a mini 8th right here, so I'm assuming those will appear later. I don't know. Oh, is that it over there? I see this mini 8th, right? Did I miss an 8th right on the other side? Dude's wearing the same glamour as me. The Cabinet of Curiosity. Where's the other one? The books on the shelves are free for any resident of the Crystarium to borrow, and you'll only need to put in a request. The basement archives, however, are restricted to all but the authorized personnel. Look at all the books! Excuse me, miss. Are you recently come to the city perchance? I'm quite familiar with our civic roles, and you see, well, what I mean to ask is, have you brought any books with you? A rumpled scroll, even? A scrap of scribbled on parchment? My apologies. Literature is something of an obsession of mine, as well as a profession. Librarian Morn at your service, and this humble collection is known as the Cabinet of Curiosity. As your powers of perception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are responsible for curating all manner of tomes, documents, and other vehicles for the written word. As horrific as the loss of life and land wrought by the flood unquestionably was, the damage to recorded knowledge was no less catastrophic. We few do all we can to preserve what wisdom survived. But tell me, what brings you to the cabinet today? Looking for any title in particular? Mayhap a spot of academic research? Oh, so you have an interest in modern history. Splendid! A thorough review of recent events can often yield novel perspectives. I quite agree. If you prefer something visual to accompany the account, then I think I have an illustrated history book for children somewhere. Just a moment, and I'll fetch it for you. Children's book. And here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair? Make yourself more comfortable? Ahem. On with the lesson, then. This person seems so sweet. But I don't know if they're a guy or a girl. 100 years ago, or near enough not to matter, villains known as the Warriors of Light villains known as the Warrior of Light slew the Shadowkeeper, the Steward of Darkness. In the wake of this tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as if from unseen cracks. It pooled and swelled without cease until the day an enormous blinding wave rose up and swept across our star. We call this calamity the Flood of Light. Everything it touched was leached of life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Yet, just when it seemed that all would be lost, a savior appeared before us. The Oracle of Light. She stood twixt us and approaching doom, and by her power did she stay the flood. Thus was Norvrant, and Norvrant alone spared the fate of erasure. Tragedy would, however, arrive in another form. From the blasted emptiness descended horrors of strange and terrible aspect to bed evil the few folk who survived. These sin-eaters were light incarnate, and their fulgurant presence stole the night from Norvrant's sky. Even now they circle, the remaining bastions of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. And thus did the world become what it is. Should you ever wish to hear the tale again, I would be glad to retell it for you. Or if you'd rather speak of other matters, that too would be my pleasure. I should be glad of the company. Your exchange with Morin has taught you about the Flood of Light. Alright. I like how these arm pieces look, but I'm not 100% sure this is the outfit for it. Sorry, I'm like going back and forth trying to make up my mind about things. Just gonna reach my arm through that, don't mind me. Alright. I'm just walking around at this point. It's like a bar. The wandering stairs. There's so much around here. Alright. It's all on this side. Grass in here. Giant plaza. Holy cow, the Crystal Tower's ginormous. Find Aetherite right over there, it looks like. Hey, it's Lancelot. Am I right about this Aetherite being... Oh wait, it's not that one. Yep, okay, there it is. Alright, Catless. Rare to see a place so stocked with goods, isn't it? But not here. I'm going to guess you're new to our fair city. Well, for what it's worth, you've chosen a fine sanctuary. The X-Arch can throw up a barrier if the Sin Eaters come knocking, so it's a damn sight safer in here than it is out there. Safer and more civilized, too, thanks to us in the mean. We work together to procure materials and resources and craft the goods which make the city life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or a kettle forged. Just don't go thinking it'll be all handed to you on a plate like those Elmoran layabouts. Here in the Crystarium, we work for a living. Though I see you're no stranger to honest labor. You don't have that whiff of indolence like some folk I've met. Still, I can't quite pin down your profession. Where is it you're from? Oh, one of the X-Arch's countrymen, you say. I see. Well then, I'll work twice as hard to make you feel welcome. Our city wouldn't even exist if it weren't for him, and any friend of his is a friend of ours. It really is quite incredible when you think about it. They say his grand magic summoned the Crystal Tower into existence, pulled the entire thing out of thin air. Interesting. It wasn't long before droves of refugees began congregating around its base, desperate for shelter after losing their homes to the flood. And that's how the Crystarium began. At the X-Arch's invitation, buildings started going up, and with the help of some curious relics brought forth from the tower, the place gradually expanded into the thriving metropolis you see today. The city's stood here for decades now, yet the eldest among us swear the X-Arch looks exactly the same as he did back then. He is indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never yet let us down. So, if he and you wish to remain silent about your shared homeland, then the folk here will respect your wish for privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. If you've ought to contribute on that front, be sure and come back and visit once you've had a chance to settle in. Just ask for Catless, and I'll find you a niche here in the crystalline mean. You can help us keep the cogs of the city greased and turning. Your exchange with Catless has taught you about life in the Crystarium. Alrighty. So... let's see here. Alright, so the dude's gonna be ready for me over there. Can these fish even swim in that? It's pretty shallow. I think they just jump right out. Alright. I wanna see if there's a Moogle male up here. Delivery Moogle. Ah, there's the Aetherite shard. You've attuned yourself to all the Aetherite shards in the Crystarium. Lakeland is now accessible as an Aetherite destination. Okay. Alright. So bright in here. I love it. All the screenshots I can do. Alright, buddy. What you got for me? Well, how did you fare? Did my colleagues help you form a clearer picture of this world and its people? Yes, it seems you were treated to a most thorough introduction. I understand it was something of a chore, but 'twas necessary that you grasp these things before we proceed. As for the Crystal Tower's origin, you may have noted that details were sparse. The structure is, in fact, the same self-one you know from the source, transported to the first in its entirety. It was my first attempt at breaching the boundaries between worlds, something of a trial run for your eventual crossing, and although I do not know which era I tore it from, I do know that its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. Alright, so we got like... Hold on. We got like these treasure coffers. Oh, look at all this junk that I needed to sell. Alright, well. A polished oak chest with lavish chest gear type determined by current job or class at the time of opening. Alright, whatever. Black mage it is. Oh god, I can sell that on the market board. Probably not gonna sell for much, but hey. What about that weapon they gave me? Nope.